Live from WTVG Toledo, this is 13 ABC Action News.
And hi there, good morning. 6:31 here on this Thursday. We are following some breaking news of a house fire that went out. Could be the scene of another crime, and it just caught fire again.
This happened just moments ago. 13 ABC's Tony Geftis is there on the 100 block of Houseman. We understand you're all calling 911 out there.
Yeah, we just called 911 because we saw the wind pick up and then it blew through the window and kicked up the flames. Once again, this house is reigniting. So we're potentially seeing a fire starting here at the same place where it happened right around 3:20, and those flames are getting more and more intense. So if anybody's watching us in this neighborhood, this is 134 Houseman. The house just caught fire again. It went right up the side of the inside wall there. And we would caution everybody who's on either side of this home to evacuate or at least be extremely cautious. We also want the Toledo Firefighters to come down here once again because it did reignite again. I'm going to run across the street, start knocking on some doors just to make sure that everybody's safe, and we're going to continue to stay on this. So as again, when you can see this happening right in front of you, you know, the panic starts to set in. That happened very, very quickly. Initially, the man said that somebody set fire to his house after they broke in, held a gun to his head, and he escaped through the front window with a gash on his head. However, we are once again seeing this house go right up in flames. Now, the man who lived here earlier, he was actually, according to neighbors, renting from one of his family members. Here's a TARPS bus coming by, and he was okay. He was taken to the hospital. But this fire, which was extinguished, has now once again reignited. Again, I am going to go across the street and knock on some doors just to make sure that everybody is all right in this situation. If you want to keep the live pictures up, that is fine. But I'm going to check on the safety of everyone in this neighborhood, Jeff and Sasham.
Okay, I want to hold on this for just a moment as Tony does make his way across the street. And we heard earlier that this was possibly the site, as Tony was saying, of another crime that happened earlier. At this point, we want to point out there is nobody in that house.
That's right. Nobody's in the house. The homeowner actually got out, was talking to Tony earlier, but just in the last, 30 seconds to 1 minute, we saw those flames in only that window you see on the left. It is now pouring out. The fire pouring out of this house has spread within that one room. We're seeing thick black smoke, this all developing here. The fire just reigniting as the wind changed directions. And we're seeing Tony, a number of other people who are at the scene there reporting on that initial fire, now notifying residents, knocking on doors. And again, to alert our viewers, they have called 911 again. So we're working to get Toledo fire crews back out there right now to deal with this.
Yeah, and we don't want to only say, put the onus on Toledo Fire seeing our report. Toledo Police, anybody, please contact Toledo Fire, get them back out. We're talking, can we show the map one more time? The 100 block of Houseman Street as we zoom down the location here for you once again. Obviously, we're talking right there off LaGrange near Walnut. I think Tony is back on the mic. Tony?
Yeah.
Tony, talk us, was anybody next door?
Real loudly.
Was anybody next door?
Didn't seem like anybody. I just went and banged on the doors really loudly, yelled fire, wanted to make sure that everybody knew. As you can see, this fire, as you mentioned, no one's in the house itself. However, when the houses are this close together, it could potentially spread very quickly, and we're seeing it all happen live. I'm a little short of breath just from running and yelling, so
Tony,
you have to excuse me. But
Tony, how long ago did firefighters leave the scene?
It's only been about maybe an hour and a half, but it was pretty well out. In fact, you can see the furniture in the front yard. They took that out of the house because it was smoldering. Potentially something like this could reignite if you had, some more fuel for it or something that continued to burn on the inside. So that's why they brought it all out front. They hosed it all down, thought it was out. It appeared like it was out. And for some reason, it did reignite once again. As you can see, it was in the, on the left side, left window, and the inner wall. It looked like it was crawling right up that wall. It happened, just within seconds in front of us.
And we have seen these flames now licking up at the top of the roof of that house, spreading quickly. Tony, we know you called 911 a while ago. Are you hearing sirens yet? Any response?
Yeah, we can hear them off in the distance. And just to orient everybody here, we are directly behind Central Catholic High School. We can see St. Vincent Mercy Medical Center off in the distance as well. So we are awaiting those, not just ambulatory services, but we are awaiting the firefighters here. They got here the first time very quickly. They were able to contain the flames to a single room. And now I do hear off in the distance, here come the firefighters once again. So it should be momentarily. If you guys want to stay on us here and just make sure that we do get this out. as you can see, we can clearly see into the house right now as the flames continue to eat up the side of the walls and then up into the roof. But again, no one was home because the person who was here earlier says that someone broke into his house, held a gun to his head, and then set the room on fire. He was taken to the hospital, is expected to be okay, and firefighters were able to contain the flames initially. However, as you saw it all happen here live, it once again reignited. And this can happen. That's time we see often that investigators stay out. The firefighters keep their engines in a specific spot all morning long just to make sure that it doesn't reignite like this. They call them hot spots. And we'll often see them going along the roofs of a structure, trying to tear away at it and then hose it down. Now, they're going to do that as well because here comes one of the pumper trucks. It is coming around the corner. And they are rolling in as fast as they can. We can clearly see smoke coming through the roof of this house as well. So this is going to be a tough fire because looking up overhead, we've got some power lines. They've already got the axes ready. They've been here before, so they know there was no one inside of this house. That gives them an advantage because they don't have to run in and put themselves at risk when they're trying to battle these flames. Really, the primary directive now is going to be to get them out, and if they can't get them out within the first few minutes, they're going to try to save the homes on either side. We do see someone in that second home, that neighbor in the house that I knocked on the door there for a few minutes. But they are keeping a safe distance. So we are going to see this happen really right in front of you. This is about as live as it gets, folks.
Tony, a couple of weeks ago, you were on the scene of a fire in the Southwick area, and you had talked about firefighters using some new tactics in some of those blazes. Obviously, we're watching this live. This is happening before our eyes, and they immediately went in that front door knowing the surroundings. Have you noticed them taking any different tactic compared to what you saw at Southwick?
Right. What they've done is they've reapproached and tried to take a new tactic, as you said here, than what they've done in years past. They used to do something called surround and drown when they knew that a house was vacant. Of course, this crew may not be the same one that was here overnight because potentially they had a shift change, so they are aware of this, but they just got to make sure that no one else is inside of this house. But yeah, surround and drown is typically what they've done. However, they have a new type of tactic where when they get to some structure and they're not quite sure whether anyone's inside, they also hit it hard from the yard. That's not technically what they call it, but it is essentially what they do, is they hose it down from the outside while somebody goes in. But what we just saw right here was somebody bringing a hose right into the structure. A lot of flames, you know, for us, I'm not used to this because I'm not a firefighter, but for them, this is a pretty average day. So they were able to go right inside that front door. The fact that the windows were already broken out and there was a little bit of ventilation, I mean, it helped fuel the flames, but it also offered them a little bit of leeway so they could actually see inside the house as well. They're tearing apart at the walls right away, so trying to knock this down as fast as they can, but go ahead, Sasha.
And Tony, as you mentioned, you talked about the houses being very close together. We can see that. In fact, while you were just speaking seconds ago, we saw one of those residents in a neighboring home come running out. So clearly there's also some alerts going out. You were going door to door, knocking on those neighbors, letting them know if they were still sleeping at this early hour, that fire had reignited. And obviously the new tactic is to better protect firefighters who have to go into these burning buildings. And the concern is also always the people who are immediately next to it.
And Tony, we're not able to be there at every rekindle or every start of every fire, but you've just got to sit back in amazement at the job these guys do, guys and girls do each and every day. They did not skip a beat getting in that house and putting that bad boy out.
That's right. I mean, this is really pretty remarkable when we see it go from start to finish like this. I mean, just merely 8 minutes ago or so, we saw it reignite, and now here they are. They're hooking up their hoses to the fire hydrants, and we're also seeing them inside of that house. Clearly the flames are knocked down already, so for them to have the smoke jumper truck with the tank already in it and then to be hooking up to the lines and the water lines, they're going to be able to put this out well and good and make sure that it won't reignite once again. But yeah, what an incredible job they just did, all right here live on television. Jeff, Sasha.
All right, thanks so much. Tony Geftis live out there on the scene. We're going to check back in with him here in just a little bit again and get an update on that. But the good news is, again, no injuries because the people who were in that home, or the person rather, is out. So thanks so much, Tony, for that breaking news developing right in front of our eyes.
And nice job, TFD. More breaking news to bring you right